Hello everyone, this is Mike B. I'm back with another segment, and today I want to do a special behind the scenes of my first NFT collection. It's titled Women's Time to Shine. I will be taking you on a little journey dating over 20 years back during its first inception, and things that inspired the project, how I developed and built on the ideas, the power of music, you know. Alright, so in part one, we'll start with the reconstructing it, or not even further back than that. So we'll say Women's Time to Shine was originally titled My Time to Shine. And in this first clip I'm showing you, I have showing up as part 1 and 2 of the original designs side by side. So I was trying to portray the figure on the left looking down, in deep, looking down in deep thought, sort of searching out her feelings and her emotions and summoning her inner strength. You will notice that the roses are not fully blossomed. The clouds are behind her, but they're moving out of the way slowly but surely. And the sun is beginning to rise from underneath her. Alright, so now moving to the illustration on the right, you can see that the roses have fully blossomed. The lady's pose is much more vibrant and dynamic. The wings are in motion. She's smiling, the clouds have dispersed, and the sun is fully erect. So, but I pretty much built up a sequence of the figures, moods and body language, and shifting it from uncertainty to confidence, and a sense of empowerment. Now next we have some pencil drawings of the figure. One I drew on an 11x14 Bristol board, and at that time, before the fancy smartphones, I had a large heavy 11x17 flatbed Musket brand scanner to bring in images into Photoshop. So I was fairly new to using the program for Photoshop. So but I was getting a little bit better by the time I got to my time to shine. So, but other than that, I traced over the pencil drawing with the hard round brush. And then I used the soft brush to render the figure, the sun, roses, in the sky. So you'll notice that I don't have the pencil drawings on the right for the right illustration on the right. And I'm not sure when the original drawing was left or where I put it at, to be honest. But you'll see some of the sketches in the next few upcoming slides, but they were created the same way as the first illustration on the left, with the thumbnails and checking out which composition would work best. So that was like a little piece that I wanted to put in my first book, showing the behind the scenes of how I created it, as well as like the original writing that I had in my notebook. So there you have that. Now in the next slide, you notice that the image in the grayscale with text below it at the bottom, that's the original poem I wrote for the illustration back in 2004. And I wrote it based on women and young ladies' experiences and situations that I saw from the outside looking in. Some were friends, some were family, or friends of friends. So from that, I just wanted to create something positive, around that time. And I'll read that one to you later on. But now in this other frame, you see the illustration on the white t-shirt and the print on the yellow mat board. And you probably noticed that the illustration is different from the shirts, as far as the style, the look, the colors. And that's because the screen printing method was not direct to garment printing. Back then it was not as popular. I don't even know if it was really out like that, used like that back in the early 2000s. So to keep things simple and less expensive and time consuming, I converted the roster image to a vector image. Yeah, so from Photoshop basically to like Adobe Illustrator. But in this case, I think I used Corel Draw to trace the line drawing. So this was done by importing the ink line drawing into Corel Draw power trace tool that they have. And what it is that once I did the outline in ink and made sure all of the lines were closed in, I was able to trace it and convert the drawing into the vector drawing. So then I was able to fill in the colors, and I used a Pantone solid color swatch, and then I narrowed down the colors to 3. But to be honest, I didn't really care for the white t-shirts as much when it was only 3 colors. And then you'll see next in the slide is a picture of my little sister. She probably was in her last year in high school. At that time, rocking a shirt. As a matter of fact, it was a black shirt. You can't tell. Yeah, it was a black shirt. And that was like my favorite of the 2 shirts, like I was saying. So she was feeling the design as well as others, like my old neighbors, Miss McCoy and her daughter Nene. And I appreciate their support over the years, of course. And so then I tried a different approach to printing my time to shine, but one color, and that was a black print, which was like a black museum quality paper. I think I got it at like Michael's back in the day, and I used the silver shimmer ink that we would use for screen printing on the shirts. So I printed that on some shirts as a test with along with the museum print. And I like this version too because it was like a little extra classy to it, you know, and unique, I think. And I think that some of the older women liked it as well, you know. And then now in this next clip I have, it was like I was selected to be in this billboard exhibit, like displayed across the United States. I forget how many cities it was. It was quite a few of them, and it had to be at least, I want to say at least 100 or 200 artists or so. And I think he was able to get up to 3 images. So I picked My Time to Shine, and I think I had a sketch of my brother Jimmy, and one other one, but those were like black and white. Oh yeah, and then I did one for my Mother Earth project, with trees and deforestation. But yeah, but the My Time to Shine was cool because I was able to merge the 2 images into one to fit the billboard. And I do remember it was cold that day when I was out there trying to capture the billboard when it got to my images. And I think it was in Chicago near the O'Hare Airport. So I was pretty much out there like half the day. And I was wearing this bomber jacket with my camera waiting. And but yeah, it turned out pretty cool. Alright, so now we're going to go a little deeper into this project from the early days. So the origin, basically, like I'm going back to like the mid-90s, between the mid-90s and the late 90s. Starting with the mid-90s, there was this R&B group called the Whitehair Brothers, and then there was this R&B singer named Mona Lisa that had an album titled Mona Lisa. Now the Whitehair Brothers, they had a popular single called Your Love Is a 187, and that was pretty cool because it was like an R&B group, you know, and they had a little bit of like gangster street slang to it. And as far as just that single in particular. So like I think a couple years later, eventually I ended up checking out the album, and when I did, I liked this song called Beautiful Black Princess, and that song was actually what planted the idea of what I wanted to draw. So I'm gonna play a few seconds of that a little bit later on, but the lyrics and the key words from that were starting to just go like just was like so clear in my head. And yeah, some of the phrases were like, you will soar, the sun will shine on you, your love will be our strength, hold your head up oh so high, and just fly and spread your wings. And I just thought that was really painted like so well, so vividly with the words. Now, going back to Mona Lisa. So Mona Lisa, she had a couple of popular singles during that time. The first title was Can't Be Wasting My Time featuring the Lost Boys, man. That was my jam. And that single got me to actually go ahead and buy the album. And it had this deep bass line. And matter of fact, that was KRS-One. Act Like You Don't Know. Yeah, so then the second one was titled It's My Time to Shine. And there were 3 versions that she put out for that. There was the album version, the original album version off her album, and the title and theme. I really like that as the title and theme for the drawing that I had in mind from the Whitehead Brothers' Beautiful Black Princess. And then, the second version that she dropped was, it was a remix for the, with Lil' Kim, for the movie soundtrack, Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. And so I really like the video, the music video for that track. But the third one was like on the actual Don't Be Drinking Your Juice in the Hood like soundtrack that they sold it on. So that track I didn't get into that one as much as the other 2. So but you'll get to hear a little bit of the music as you see my demonstration of like the newer versions of the Women's Time to Shine now.